All right, let's dive into Phuket real estate, but quick note, we're talking Phuket, not Phuket, just so you know.
Hmm.
Today we're exploring investing specifically near Bangkok Hospital Phuket.
Hmm. Interesting area to focus on.
Well, we're using insights from Ocean Worldwide. They're a luxury real estate agency.
Oh, yeah, I know them.
Been around since 2004 in Phuket. They really know this market. And Sandra O'Neill leads the agency. She's helped tons of families and investors, find their dream properties.
Yeah, the focus is luxury residential, right? Phuket and Koh Samui.
You get it. So Phuket, obviously beautiful beaches, that's the image.
Yeah,
But we're going
I want
deeper.
the postcard, yeah.
Exactly. What else makes this area attractive to investors, especially around Bangkok Hospital Phuket?
Good question. Most people don't think of hospitals as investment drivers, right? But a world-class facility like Bangkok Hospital Phuket, that can really shift things.
I'm listening. How does a hospital equal real estate gold?
Think about it. Bangkok Hospital Phuket is part of BDMS, Bangkok Dusit Medical Services, one of the top 5 medical providers globally. So you have access to internationally recognized healthcare right there. Huge for retirees, people relocating families.
Not just vacation homes, then. You're
Yeah,
talking long-term with top-notch healthcare nearby.
exactly. And this hospital is serious. Over 500 medical professionals, huge network of specialized doctors. They see over 90,000 patients a year. A lot of those are international patients.
Oh, wow. So medical tourism plays a role.
Big time. People coming in seeking high quality care, that adds to Phuket's appeal.
Okay, but how does this translate to real estate benefits for investors?
Simple. People want to live near great healthcare, right? Drives up demand, demand increases value. People pay a premium for that peace of mind.
So it's not just a lifestyle perk being near the hospital. It's strategic.
It's all connected.
Fascinating. And Phuket has a diverse real estate market. Ocean Worldwide, they know a lot about this with their luxury focus. What options are we looking at here?
Yeah, you have it all. Luxury beachfront villas, infinity pools, modern condos, everything in between.
So something for everyone. Tranquil escape or right in the action.
Absolutely. And that's part of what makes Phuket's market so dynamic. Appeals to everyone, global buyers.
Sounds like a real estate paradise.
Yeah.
But it's more than just property. Phuket has that whole lifestyle element.
Yeah, you've got those pristine beaches, Patong, Kaita, Karan, each with their own vibe. Waking up to waves, sandy shores, vibrant nightlife, or peaceful sunsets.
It does sound idyllic. But families, what about schools? Is Phuket good for kids' education too?
Oh yeah, Phuket has excellent international schools. The British International School Phuket, UWC Thailand, high academic standards, global curriculums. They attract families from all over.
That's a huge plus for families considering relocating.
It makes for a thriving community, adds to the appeal, the value.
Okay, so we've covered healthcare, lifestyle, education. What about just getting around Phuket, especially with all the development happening?
Phuket's got a good transportation network. Phuket International Airport has tons of international connections, and they're working on their roads too, like the Kathu Patong Expressway.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it'll be a big improvement to connectivity by 2030.
Wow. So they're thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Makes it even more appealing for residents and investors.
They are thinking long term. And speaking of long term, what about making some income from your Phuket property?
Okay, yeah, this is where it gets interesting.
Right. So Phuket has a big tourism industry. That means a strong rental market. You can do short-term vacation rentals, or you can do long-term leases, target expats, or even locals wanting to live in paradise.
So you could enjoy returns while living the Phuket life yourself.
Exactly, a win-win. And there's also this move towards being eco-conscious in Phuket.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Sustainable building and all those eco-friendly developments, especially around land.
It's a global trend, green living.
It is. And it sounds like Phuket is really embracing it. Even Bangkok Hospital Phuket, they have all those eco-friendly initiatives too.
Yeah, they are.
So it seems like Phuket is more than just a vacation spot. It's a place where you can have a great lifestyle, world-class healthcare, make a smart investment all at the same time.
You said it perfectly. That's what makes this deep dive so interesting, It's more than meets the eye.
It really is. All right, we've covered a lot of ground here. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll break it all down for our listeners thinking about Phuket as more than just a vacation.
Welcome back. Lots to think about with Phuket real estate, right? Especially around that Bangkok Hospital Phuket.
Yeah, it's a unique area. I think we've uncovered some interesting stuff already.
We have, but it's a lot to take in. So let's recap those key takeaways for our listeners, especially those who might be thinking about Phuket for more than a vacation. What stands out to you, the most compelling reasons to invest in this area?
Well, I think the big thing is the hospital. Bangkok Hospital Phuket, it's not just like a nice thing to have nearby. It actually adds value.
Right.
Properties near top healthcare, they tend to hold their value better and they appreciate more too. So it's peace of mind and a smart investment.
Exactly. And then there's the variety you get in the real estate market itself. Luxury villas on the beach, modern condos in the heart of it all. Phuket's got it all.
Ocean Worldwide, with their luxury focus, they must have some pretty amazing listings. What can you tell us about specific developments or price points?
Well, I can't talk about specific listings, but areas like Laguna Phuket, where there are a lot of those luxury resorts and residences, you're definitely going to see higher prices there. But even within that, there's a range. It's not all, one level.
Makes sense. And what about rentals? Ocean Worldwide mentioned both short-term, like vacation rentals, and long-term leases. Which one is the better bet?
Oh, that's a good question. It depends on your goals, how much risk you're comfortable with. Short-term rentals can bring in more money during peak seasons, but then you've got to manage them and you have those gaps when nobody's booked.
Ah, I see.
Long-term leases, those are more stable, more predictable income, but maybe not as higher return overall.
So you got to weigh those pros and cons.
Yeah, find what fits your strategy. And don't forget, Phuket's tourism is huge, so keeping an eye on those trends is really important.
Now, beyond the numbers, let's talk about that Phuket lifestyle. We talked about the beaches, but what else makes living there so appealing?
Well, Phuket's got this unique mix of natural beauty, culture and modern life. You can explore rainforests, temples, amazing restaurants, go shopping, or just relax on the beach. It's all there.
And those international schools we talked about, BISP and UWC Thailand, those are big draws for families.
Oh, absolutely. Education, that's huge for families deciding where to live. Having those high-quality options available makes a big difference.
Speaking of getting around, Phuket seems to be putting a lot of effort into their transportation, like with that Katu Patong Expressway we mentioned.
Yep, that's right. They're finishing that up by 2030. It's going to make it so much easier to get around the island for residents, for tourists, connecting those key areas, the hospital, the tourist spots, everything.
That's great. Shows they're thinking ahead, which is a good sign for real estate.
Absolutely. And remember, those infrastructure projects, those often lead to higher property values down the line.
Now, sustainability is a big deal these days. What's Phuket doing in that area?
You're right, it's a big concern. And Phuket's stepping up, especially in areas like Leon. There's a real focus on sustainable development. We're talking eco-friendly materials, energy-efficient buildings, that kind of thing.
It's good to see those practices becoming more common. And it's not just the developers. Bangkok Hospital Phuket, they're leading the way too with all their green initiatives.
Yeah, exactly. It shows that they're really committed to doing things the right way for the environment and for the community.
So it sounds like Phuket is really ticking a lot of boxes. Lifestyle, investment potential, and now sustainability too.
I think so. There are always risks with any investment, but Phuket's looking pretty good for those who want a piece of paradise with potential for growth.
It does. But before we get too excited, we should talk about the potential downsides. What are some challenges or risks with investing in Phuket, especially for foreigners?
That's a smart question to ask. One of the big things is the legal side of things. There are rules about foreigners owning property in Thailand.
Right, I can imagine.
You really need to talk to experts, lawyers who specialize in Thai real estate. They can help you understand all the details and make sure you're doing it right.
So do your homework.
Absolutely. And the market, like any real estate market, it goes up and down. Things like the global economy or even politics, those can have an impact on prices.
Makes sense.
You also have to think about the environment. Phuket's beautiful, but they do have those natural disasters sometimes. Tsunamis, tropical storms. You have to be prepared.
That's a good point. Insurance, disaster preparedness, those are important.
They are. And healthcare costs, too. You need to research insurance options for foreigners. Bangkok Hospital Phuket is great, but you need to know how much things cost, what your coverage is.
So it sounds like investing in Phuket, it takes some planning.
Yeah, it's not something to jump into without thinking. But if you do your research, if you're careful, Phuket can be a really rewarding place to invest.
So before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with some things to think about. So thinking about everything we've talked about, world-class healthcare, the real estate market, the potential for good returns, that lifestyle. Does this change how you see Phuket? Is it somewhere you could see yourself actually living? Maybe even thriving?
It's a good question, isn't it? I think we tend to focus on the beaches, the touristy stuff, but there's a whole other side to Phuket when you think about actually living there, investing in your future there.
Yeah, exactly. And we've talked about the practical stuff, the healthcare, schools, infrastructure, even the potential downsides. But what about that feeling? Can you picture yourself waking up to the ocean, exploring the island, being a part of that community?
It's about finding that connection, right? That sense of belonging. And Phuket has this really interesting mix of being peaceful and exciting at the same time. You can have those quiet moments surrounded by nature and then, head into a busy market or a beach party. It's about finding that balance that works for you.
Maybe it's knowing you've got that top-notch healthcare nearby, Bangkok Hospital Phuket. Or maybe it's the adventure of finding those hidden beaches and exploring those local spots.
Exactly. It's about creating your own version of paradise. And Phuket gives you the tools to do that.
And who knows, maybe this deep dive is giving you some ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to think about Phuket as more than just a vacation, a place to maybe put down roots, invest, start a whole new chapter.
There are so many possibilities. That's what's so great about exploring these things. It opens your mind, makes you think differently, makes you want to step outside your comfort zone a little.
Well said. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Phuket real estate, we want to encourage you to keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep discovering everything this incredible island has to offer. You never know what you might find.
Until next time.